Shalom, everybody, and welcome to the TorahTrue.com and RelatableTorah.com YouTube channel. And welcome to the 7th installment in our Testament of the Baal Shem Tov series, the fundamental and foundational principles of Chasidic philosophy and conduct. I'm your host, Ben-Tzion Saloff, and we left off last time on section 28. We now go on to section 29, which has one of these very foundational principles, and that is, throughout the book, we have the principle of devekut. Devekut is binding oneself to Hashem. Devek, you know what devek is in modern Hebrew? Devek is glue. So, to be dabek to something or someone is to be bound to that person or thing. So, devekut is being bound to God in our minds, our hearts, and in our actions. Now, whenever we do something, we should have in mind that we are doing it to serve Hashem, and that in and of itself makes us davuk to Hashem, bound to Hashem. So, you would think that when you do something like Torah study, where Torah study in and of itself is a commandment from Hashem, that we would be davek to Hashem just through the fact that we're learning. But the truth of the matter is, this actually can detract from one's devekut in a certain way. Because when we're looking at the Torah, and we're looking at the concepts, especially if it's a legal section of the Torah, where we're learning halakha, which legal, they're very, precise details, etc. We can forget why we're learning, and why we're really learning is because this is a commandment from Hashem, from God, and we're learning in order to bind ourselves to God, because halakha and Torah in general is the worldly embodiment of the wisdom and the will of our Creator. That's what it is. It is the embodiment, at least to whatever degree that we can grasp onto it, it is the embodiment of Hashem's will and wisdom. So, we have to remember this whenever we're learning Torah, and but if we don't remember it, we certainly have to learn, because learning in and of itself fuels the devekut. We'll come to a better understanding of this as we go on. However, let's just see what the Baal Shem Tov himself says. So when you're learning, every hour you need to just take a little time and rest. Stop. Why? In order to bind yourself to Hashem, blessed be He. And even so, tzarich lilmod. Even though like I said before, that the learning in and of itself can bring you away from devekut, you still have to learn, because it's very important. It's, as I said, it's kind of the fuel for devekut. Okay. Even though at the time of the learning itself, you can't really bind yourself to Hashem, blessed be He, because look, how do we bind ourselves to Hashem? The accepted and understood way of binding ourselves to God is through prayer, and when you're learning, you're not praying. They're two different things. But once again, it fuels the devekut. But let's see. Mikol makom tzarich lilmod. But like we said, we have to learn. Shatorah mitzachtzechet nishmato. Because the Torah cleans our soul. It scrubs our soul, so to speak. V'hi eitz chayim hi lemachzikim ba. And what is Torah? It is a tree of life to those who grab onto it, who grasp it. V'im lo yilmod yivutal dveikuto. And if you don't, even though dveikut in and of itself at the time of learning is not so easy, but the bottom line is, even so, you still have to learn. You can't. If you don't learn, it will nullify your dveikut. You won't be able to reach dveikut unless you have learned. V'yachshov shekmo be'eit hashena eino yachol liyot davuk. And you should think, look, at the time of sleeping, I'm not going to be able to be dabuk b'Hashem. I'm not going to be able to be bound to Hashem in a conscious way. And also at such times as your mind drops, which let's see if he explains it here in this English. What a thing? Your mind falls. What is he? Let's see his note here. So yeah, there are going to be times when you're going to have what is called mochin de how's the terminology? Mochin de katnut. You will have constricted consciousness. You won't be able to. There are times, when you just can't concentrate. I mean, in the simplest way possible, that's the way to express it. You just can't concentrate, and you're not able to focus on Hashem, and to focus on being bound to Hashem. And at those times, you won't be able to have dveikut. Ki lo yeh be'eit halimud garoa mehem. Rak mikol makom tzarich leishev atzmo b'chol shah v'rega b'dveikut haborei yitbarach knal. So, bottom line, we're going to bottom line it here, and that is simply your whole purpose for let me express this correctly. Your whole purpose for being here is to do the will of Hashem, is to rectify yourself in the world as Hashem commands us. This is what we do. This is our purpose. Now, Hashem also commands us. In the Torah it says, "V'hadvekim b'Hashem chaim kuchem hayom." I forget the rest of the pasuk, but it means that those who bond themselves to Hashem, the veikut, they're all alive today, meaning completely alive. So, number one, we have the commandment to rectify ourselves in the world, and number two, we have the commandment to be dabuk to Hashem, to be bound to Hashem. So these are the things that we are obligated to. So, right. So, it is an obligation in and of itself to, when we're learning, to stop, rest, and refocus on our dveikut, refocus on our being bound to Hashem, and that the learning that we're doing is actually, we are grasping on to the will, to the will and wisdom of Hashem. So that's the point he's making here. Okay, we're going on to Lamed, to 30. And sorry for that displacement there. Okay. Ke'et halimud, כשמדבר צריך שלא לחשוב מחשבה אחרת, רק דבקות הבורא יתברך. So, at the time of learning, one second. Why is that saying? Well, this is interesting. One second. Okay. So at the time of learning, when you're speaking, you need to think you need not to not allow yourself to think of other things rather than, of course, the subject of the learning, but of your attachment to Hashem, blessed be He. Which I just said. So even though you have to be careful not to think things other than being bound to Hashem, you of course also have to concentrate on what you're learning. Umikoach zeh dabuk belokut kerui. And by the power of this focusing on what you're supposed to focus on, you will be able to be dabuk, to be attached to Hashem, as is appropriate. And you need at all times to be involved with Torah, to be occupied with Torah. Now, when we say occupied with Torah, does that necessarily mean that we are learning at every moment? I would say no. I would say, of course, we should be learning Torah, frequently. However, being involved with Torah is also guarding it and performing it, to perform the Torah and breathe the life of Torah into the world in order to rectify the world and the different aspects of the world which are brought before us to rectify. So once again, v'tzarich b'chol pa'am la'asok b'Torah she'etz hayim l'machzikim ba. Because what is the Torah? It is a tree of life to grasp onto. Aval k'shemadaber rak devarim b'telim. However, if you speak only, how do you say devarim b'telim in English? The best way to say that. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this, because it should be. He doesn't even translate it, but devarim b'telim are words which are not appropriate for the situation. Devarim b'telim are unimportant, even profane kinds of matters and words. So when you speak such things, v'yismoch ala dveikut, and see, I would be very careful. So, first of all, you shouldn't speak devarim b'telim in general, and especially at the time of Torah, of involving yourself with Torah. You should, though, what you should be concentrating on and depending on is your dveikut to Hashem. You should be very careful not to keep on falling from the dveikut. Always keep in mind that you want to be focusing on Hashem and binding yourself to Hashem. That's basically what he's saying here. Let's go on to Lamed Aleph, 31. Rabbi Shaul Bal Shem Amar, Keshu davu babore yitbarach, v'nofel lo machshava me'esa davar. So the Baal Shem Tov says that when he is dabuk to Hashem, the Creator, blessed be He, and then a thought of something else comes to him, mistama hukach kamo shenofel lo b'machshavto v'zehu ruach hakodesh me'at. So then, one second. They don't even go into that, which I would have been useful. So when he has a machshava from something else, okay. Basically what he's saying is, if you are dabuk b'Hashem, and you're very much focused on being bonded to Hashem, and then some thought comes to you about something maybe something important that you should be involved in. You're involved in. It could be very well that this is not a machshava betela or machshava zara. It's not that it's a strange thought or an unimportant thought. This could be a small amount of divine inspiration, because this came to you while you were in a state of dveikut. Okay, next. V'gam amar, also he said, Mikoch HaTorah shelamad ba'oto yom, by the strength of the Torah that you've learned on a particular day, v'achar kach mizdamen lo davar lasot, then afterwards there occurs an opportunity before you. Ve'eno yodei im lasot im lo, and you don't know whether you should do the thing or not to do the thing. The opportunity opens up for you to do something. Whether you're going to do it or not, you're not sure. Yachol lahavin mikoch oto anyan shelamad ech yaseh. You should understand from the power of that thing that you learned, what you should do. And this is obviously on a day, as I was saying, that you were also, you had dveikut. Uvilvad sheyatami davuk b'Hashem yitbarach, and because you are very, very much dabuk b'Hashem, you very much bonded to Hashem, blessed be He, az yazminu Hashem yitbarach tamid sheyeda mikoch HaTorah. Then Hashem will make sure always that you, through the power of the Torah that you're learning, you will know the right thing to do. So, dveikut, if you are occupied with dveikut in bonding to Hashem, and you learn Torah as is appropriate, you will then, Hashem will make the things happen. Number one, make the appropriate things happen to you, which you have to address. And number two, through the power of that Torah that you've learned, He will make sure that you know and understand what it is that you have to do, how you have to approach that particular challenge or situation that He's putting before you. Okay, Lamed Beit, 32. Lamed Beit, by the way, is also that gematria is the gematria of Lev, of the Hebrew word heart. So I always like, when I reach Lamed Beit of something, I want to see, is this the heart of the matter? Okay. Okay. Tzarich lelech mimadrega lemadrega b'tfilah. So you have to go from level to level in your tefillah, in your prayers. Prayer is a whole. It's not just opening your mouth, and although certainly that's a way of praying, just go at it. However, the proper way to handle the prayer service is you start, calm, reflecting on the greatness of Hashem, and then you look, when you say the words clearly, make sure that you're bonding yourself to the words and to Hashem, and you go and you progress in this process as you're going on, and finally your dveikut will be very great as you gradually build yourself up during the process. So it says here you need to go from one level to the next. Shelo yafsid kol kocha batchilat hatfilah, so that you're not gonna run in there and Hashem, and then for 3 minutes you are just like totally davuk b'Hashem, and then you're just so tired and you're worn out. You can't really address the most important part of the tefillah, which is the Shemona Esrei. Well, the Kriyat Shema and the Shemona Esrei, properly with proper concentration, because you blew your whole strength and power on the first part. רק יתחיל במתון, ובאמצע התפילה ידבק עצמו בדבקות גדולה. First you start out in a measured, way. And in the middle of the tefillah, you start bonding yourself more and more with Hashem, with a great bonding by the time you get to the middle. אז יהיה יכול לומר אפילו במרוצה התיבות של התפילה. And then, by when you get yourself really bonded to Hashem, you can even say the word so fast, and you'll still be able to accomplish what you need to, because you will be davek ba Hashem. I'll tell you, parenthetically, before the Rebbe was the Lubavitcher Rebbe was the Rebbe, he would go into the shul and he would pray very, very, very fast. And they'd even have to ask him, please slow down, please slow down. Then, after he became Rebbe, he started praying much, much slower. I guess in order to show people that that's what they should do. But the Rebbe was so dabuk b'Hashem, he was so bonded to Hashem, that he could go so fast and still have tremendous, power in his prayers. As any of us who knew him know, that his prayers were extraordinary, and his blessings would accomplish tremendous things, both in miracles and revealed and in somewhat concealed ways. In any case, let us continue. Afapi, even though shebatchila tatfila, at the beginning of the prayers, enu yachol litpalel b'dvekut, you're not able to pray with dveikut, with bonding to Hashem, kol kach, so much. Mikol makom yomar hatevot bekavana gedola. So what do? You start out your praying, and you see, I just don't have it. I'm not making the connection. I really feel that I'm not making the connection. What do? So you start, and you can barely even understand the words that you're saying. And you're feeling terrible. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So what you do is you back up, and you grasp onto whatever you're able to grasp onto at that point. What do I mean? So let's say generally you have a fairly good understanding of what the words you're saying are in prayer. And if you don't understand that, if you don't understand the Hebrew, you can look over, at the translation over there, and you can start to get it. However, there are times when you're just not able to concentrate. So what do? You then slow down, and you look at the words. If you can't even, remember the meaning of the words, because your concentration is so off, just look at the letters. Look at, and go from one letter to the next letter. If you know the letters, which most of us do. Go from one letter to the next letter, and concentrate with great concentration on anything you understand about the letters. Just keep on focusing. And then as you do that, you will find that you will be able to become gradually more davuk, more bound to Hashem. And let's see, let's go a little further. So, Mikol makom yomar hatevot bekavana gedola. So if this is the case, you say the words with great kavana, v'yachzik et atzmo me'at me'at, and you strengthen yourself little by little, ad sheHashem yitbarach ya'azor lo litpalel b'dvekut gadol, until Hashem, blessed be He, helps you to pray with great dvekut, with great attachment to Him. So once again, you go to the smallest common denominator, so to speak. If you look each word by word carefully, and if you can't even concentrate on the words and focus on the letters, whatever it is, you go from one to the next, and then as you progress, you'll see that Hashem will help you to make the connection. Okay, Lamed Gimel, 33. Tzarich ha'adam lilmod l'hargil et atzmo, שיתפלל אפילו הזמירות בקול נמוך ויצעק בלחש. Now, this is a very important point, and it's something which is not really understood, but it's something which you should definitely consider and think about carefully. Sometimes you go into shul and you see people, they're coming out with a great, big loud sound and seems to be praying, and they're waving their fists and their hands, and then what is the Baal Shem Tov saying here? I mean, I don't want to make fun of anybody, but he says, "Tzarich ha'adam lilmod l'hargil et atzmo, she'yitpalel afilu azmirot bekol namuch v'yitzak b'lachash." So he's saying a person needs to accustom themselves to pray, even the songs of praise of Hashem written by David HaMelech in Tehillim, in Psalms, which generally people start to get more worked up about. He's saying, say it in a low voice, v'itzak belachash. Which means, and you cry out quietly. You cry out silently, almost. Now we're required to say the words, but do so belachash, very very quietly, and focus your attention, your kavanah, your intent on the words and on the thoughts, and do it quietly. You can have power in quietness. V'yomar davar ben mizmirot ben limud bechol kocho, and you say the thing, whether it's zmirot, meaning songs of praise to Hashem, or learning with all your power, but you do it quietly. Kedichtiv kol atzmotai tomana Hashem. Call all of my all my bones speak out to you, Hashem. So, meaning, I think I actually read this to you in a previous class. However, here it is. However, it bears repeating, and I won't go through the whole thing, only part of it. There was this, for those of you who didn't hear it in the previous class, there's something here which I say every day, and I just think this is such an important thing, and I want you to reflect on it. If anybody wants to, it's not complete, so I wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, so in any case, it goes like this. It's found both in the Zohar HaKadosh, in Parshat Kitete, Daf Reish Pei Aleph, in the section Raya Mehemna. Raya Mehemna means the faithful shepherd. And in the Zohar, in each Parsha, there's a section called Raya Mehemna. It's speaking about Moshe Rabbeinu, about Moses. And this is about a sudden confrontation, so to speak, between Moshe Rabbeinu and Hashem. So, it says, Kam Raya Mehemna, the faithful shepherd got up, Vishtatach kamikuchabrichu uvocha, and he prostrated himself before the Holy One, blessed be He, and he cried. V'amar, and he said, Kein yehei ravadile de'achshiv li kavar. Thus should it be your will that you consider me as a son, not as a servant, as a etc., etc. No, as your son. That I serve you, the Holy One, blessed be He, and the Shechina, which is the more revealed aspects of godly influence in the world, referred to as the Shechina, as the divine presence, which is the feminine aspects of godliness. So that I serve you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Shechina, Yahon Nagabe Kivra Dishtadal Bahon Basarav Avoy Va'imeh, that 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 I strive to serve after my father and mother, meaning serve my father and mother, and that I love you more than my bones, my nefesh, my ruach, my neshama, my body. I love you more than everything that I have. And everything that I have really is nothing if not for what? Except to use them to serve the will of my father and mother and to redeem them. Which that in and of itself is a curious expression, and perhaps at another time we will go into it more. And even though I know that everything is in your reshus, everything is in your possession, everything comes from you, so how can I even offer you anything? Rachmana liba boy. But what I do know is, I do know that you, the All-Merciful One, wants my heart. You require the heart. You require the passion in serving you. Rachmana liba boy. The All-Merciful One wants the heart. And I wish somebody would get that phone. So then, when Hashem heard this, he got so to speak, excited, he kissed him. Now, what does it mean, a kiss, when coming from Hashem? It means divine revelation. He bestowed upon Moshe Rabbeinu tremendous divine revelation because of the importance of what he had just said. Rachmana liba boy. Ve'amar Raima Hemna, and he said, faithful shepherd, vadayon tu v'rad dili udashchinta. Of course you are a son to me and the Shechina. Rabbanan and Malachin nashkuvar. And then he called upon the masters and the angels, the masters of the heavenly chambers and the angels to come and kiss the Son, meaning give all of them to give tremendous revelations to Moshe Rabbeinu. Kamu kulhu v'nashkule. So they all came and did this. V'kabilu leil Rav Malkalayhu, and they all accepted Moshe Rabbeinu as their master and their king. Now, this one point was stressed so dramatically and so in such beautiful terminology. Rachmana liba boy. The All-Merciful One wants our hearts. He requires from us that we put our heart and our soul, our hearts, our minds, our souls, into everything that we do for Him, to serve Him. And this will result in a tremendous bond between us and for wondrous things happening in our lives. Thank you all so much for coming. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then you will be notified of any new classes coming up. Have a wonderful day, a happy and successful week, and may God bless you. All the very best.